I wanted to bring this to your attention. We're currently holding 249 XRP. Today alone, it's seen a 3.82% increase. But here's where it gets really interesting. Over the past week, it's climbed by 9.39%. Zoom out to the past month, and we're looking at an 8.46% gain. And on a yearly scale, XRP has skyrocketed. We're talking a massive 47.82% rise. That's pretty wild, right? I didn't get a chance to talk about this earlier. Been traveling. But let me take you back for a second. I remember speculating way back in 2015 or 2016 that something was brewing between Ripple and BNY Mellon. Of course, back then, people brushed it off as hype, rumors, even conspiracy talk. It's funny how obvious some things are when you're looking closely, even if others just don't see it. But hey, we weren't afraid to talk about the so-called conspiracy stuff. And now look, BNY Mellon has been tapped as the main reserve custodian for Ripple's enterprise-grade stablecoin, Ripple USD. They're not just partnering up casually, they're working together to drive digital asset adoption at the institutional level, helping connect the worlds of traditional finance and crypto. It's almost like this was the plan the whole time. And then boom, Brad Garlinghouse shows up on CNBC. Ripple had just made the announcement that they're officially partnering with BNY Mellon, and now suddenly CNBC is rolling out the red carpet. Brad's back on Squawk Box looking sharp, even a bit presidential if you ask me. He's asked straight up, why choose BNY Mellon as the primary custodian for your stablecoin? And Brad lays it out. He says, in a world where crypto's finally shaking off the regulatory pressure from the previous administration, it's all about partnering with institutions that have credibility, firms that are regulated, trusted, and financially solid. And BNY Mellon checks every one of those boxes. They've been one of the most reliable names in custody banking for years, with stablecoins needing that 1-1 backing, $1 in, $1 held. It just makes sense. Brad's comments also signal something bigger. The winds are shifting. What used to be headwinds for the crypto space are turning into tailwinds. The industry's growing and fast. Now, I'm not going to play the whole interview here. Most of you have seen it already, but I just wanted to highlight this moment because if you've been with us for a while, you know we were talking about BNY Mellon 5-6 years ago. Back then, we said once the big players step in, they're going to tokenize everything. And now look at where we are. BNY Mellon, one of the top 3 global custodians, is officially in the game, just like we said they would be. Everything is moving fast right now, including Brad Garlinghouse showing up before Congress. I'm not going to run the full hearing, but I'll share a quick clip so you can get the idea. He starts off, "Good morning, Chair Scott, Ranking Member Warren, and members of the committee. I'm Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple." He goes on to explain that Ripple isn't just some startup anymore. They've got around 900 employees across 15 offices worldwide. Founded over a decade ago, their mission has been to create the Internet of Value, where money flows as seamlessly as information does today. Ripple develops software that powers cross-border payments, stablecoins, and digital custody solutions. They're not talking theory, they're actually working with banks and financial institutions every day, helping them cut out inefficiencies and serve their clients better. And at the core of it all, Ripple uses the XRP ledger, a decentralized, open-source blockchain that's been tested in real-world scenarios, and XRP, the native token to move money globally. Oh, and also spotted in the room, Stuart Alderoty, Ripple's chief legal officer. They're showing up in force, and this is just the beginning. Here's a clip from Brad Garlinghouse that you really need to see. A senator addresses him directly, saying, "Mr. Garlinghouse, let me ask you this. As we try to shape a proper regulatory framework for digital assets, I'm worried that instead of working alongside innovators and technologists, lawmakers might try to force crypto into outdated models. That could seriously hinder progress and put the US at a major disadvantage. Given how unique this space is, what should we be focusing on when crafting regulation?" Brad responds with a sharp but thoughtful take. "Thank you, Senator. I absolutely agree that digital assets have unique characteristics, and any regulation should reflect that. But here's the issue. While I respect differing opinions, I don't think we can rely on the SEC and CFTC to work together effectively. That assumes those in charge are acting in good faith. What we've actually seen, especially under Chairman Gensler, is the opposite. The SEC created confusion instead of clarity, contradicting itself in multiple court cases. Judges even called their actions arbitrary and accused the agency of not showing a faithful allegiance to the law. So when we rely on unelected officials to guide regulation, it only works if they're acting in the industry's best interest. And with the SEC's recent track record, it felt more like they were waging war on crypto rather than trying to regulate it fairly.
All right, so here's a fun one.
Juan Opreza, I hope I'm getting that last name right, was one of the photographers at XRP Las Vegas, and he somehow managed to snap some seriously high-quality shots of Brad Garlinghouse and Stuart Alderati during the recent congressional hearing. Whether they posed for him or he just had great timing, the photos came out amazing. Big shout out to him. Also, Bank XRP posted a shot of Brad sitting front and center at the committee table, classic image. But what really stood out was this off-camera moment that quickly turned into comedy gold. It's unclear which senator started it, but the conversation went off the rails real fast. You can actually see Brad trying to stifle a laugh while it's all happening. One senator asks, "Why do you think the crypto industry is buying Senator Gillibrand?" Someone else replies, "Look at the campaign contributions." Then it escalates. "You think they bought her? Hey, you said they bought her. Do you have proof she's corrupt? I said there's a flood of money from crypto flowing into Congress. Shouldn't you apologize to her? I'm not apologizing for legislation that could wreck our economy." Then it goes full playground. One senator calls the other a whack job. Is this middle school senator? And finally, the committee chair jumps in to say, "Thank you for your participation." Meanwhile, the camera cuts to Brad Garlinghouse trying not to crack up. Total meme material. They even zoomed in on him like he was in an episode of The Office. Open interest in XRP options is heating up, now closing in on the $100 million mark. We're looking at nearly $98 million in open interest, the highest it's been since August 2023. What's driving the surge? Traders are jumping in as volatility ramps up. Short-term contracts are offering juicy yields, pulling in everyone from speculators to yield chasers. The momentum's building and fast. Next up, we've got fresh data from Sentiment. XRP's market value just hit a 7-week high, pushing past $259 billion for the first time since May 23rd. But here's what really stands out. Whale accumulation is on the rise. The number of wallets holding at least 1 million XRP has climbed to 2,742, just one wallet shy of yesterday's count. This steady growth in high balance holders is definitely something to keep an eye on. Today's whale wallet count hit a new all-time high of 2743. That's wallets holding over 1 million XRP each. And together, these whales control a staggering 47.32 billion XRP. Hopefully you're among those big holders out there. Now looking ahead, next week is shaping up to be huge for crypto. As for the Genius Act, the chances of it passing, sitting at a strong 99%. That's about as close to a lock as you can get. When it comes to the broader market structure bill, that one's more of a coin toss, 50-50 right now. Those aren't great odds, Cody. I'm staying optimistic, he says. So, better than 50%. Well, I'm leaning around 40%, he admits. But check back after next week's vote, we'll have a clearer picture then. Bottom line, momentum is building and we're definitely moving in the right direction. Alright, I've got a lot more to break down, so hop into the group. Just head over to daxrp.com to join via Patreon, or if you prefer YouTube, just smash that join button below this video. You can also subscribe over on X for more updates. Remember, this isn't financial advice. This is all for entertainment and education only. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned.